Well, hello everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm going to bring you a live paper crafting class today. It is June 24th, 2026, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. This is a special one because we're going to feature paper pumpkin kit alternatives, which is probably my top product line that Stampin' Up! Carries. I love paper pumpkin kits so much. I have been creating alternates with them since the very first kit debuted in March of 2013. And today it's, 2026, you guys. This is a lot of kits. If you have not been familiar with paper pumpkin kits, you've never heard about them, I hope that you stick around and watch to see what this is all about. These kits are amazing because they come straight to your door. It's a certain amount of fee per month depending on the region that you're in. North America, South Pacific, Europe. We have kits all over the world now. It's so exciting. And also you can create alternates with them, or you can do the kits as instructed with the little manual that comes with them, little pamphlet. So I'm going to bring you to my desktop for just a second. And as I do that, I want to welcome Trisha Josephs. She is our moderator. She's here every Wednesday to help me out with answering questions because I can't catch them all while I'm doing the live. And if I do, I get distracted and then the live takes longer. So she's here to help things become efficient, answer your questions, lead you in the right direction, share information with you. You can also find information in the description of my video, which is always available when the live begins. So you can click there and find links to supplies, links to other information that I share. This is the kit. This is the June 2026 kit that just arrived a few days ago in my mailbox. Yes, it comes straight to your mailbox. And inside you get this full color brochure type thing that gives you instructions, visual instructions on how to put the cards together. This kit comes with 9 cards, 3 of 3 different designs. You can see the different designs here, and you have the supplies to make all of these. The only thing that you need sometimes is just a scissors. Like most of the time, you don't even need a scissors anymore. Everything's ready to go. You would need scissors to cut the twine, I guess. But you even have like a little ruler in here. It's crazy. We have centimeters and we have inches. So you can measure anything that you need to measure. Everything's pre-cut, pre-scored. You get a stamp set. You get an ink pad. This is a little ink pad called a spot. You get adhesives and embellishments and all kinds of goodies, all kinds of doodads. So we're going to be taking portions of this kit and making alternate projects with them. Why do I do that? Well, because I want my subscribers, because you can subscribe to Paper Pumpkin through Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and I want my subscribers and any of you watching to be able to alter the kit and change it up so that it's more like from you, something that works with you, right? Sometimes you get a kit and you're like, those cards just aren't my style. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you come up with different solutions, different ideas. Oftentimes I will make fun folds. Oftentimes I will multiply the cards that you can make in the kit. I make a scrapbook page or a scrapbook page layout with every kit. Oftentimes 3D projects. So you can make more than just cards with these kits. All right. Welcome, welcome. All right, I also want to welcome all of my viewers, all of you today, my subscribers to my channel, and my supporting and fan club or fan members of my channel. Thank you for monetarily supporting my channel. Let's go to the desktop, shall we? Let's get going. We're going to bring in some extra product today, and that extra product comes in the form of cardstock. We have extra envelopes that we may need in case we're going to be cutting into our envelopes. Inks, I am bringing in a couple extra colors today. Yes, these 2 colors. I'm going to be using Basic Gray and Daffodil Delight. The Daffodil Delight will be paired with a blending brush so that we can apply it in a nice soft pattern. I'm also going to bring in some extra embellishments. We have, and I don't have a lot of these left, I just love them, pearlized faceted circles in the color Calypso Coral, and I think that other one is Petal Pink, but it's like a light version of Calypso Coral. And then this one is white, but they're all kind of like varying shades of the Calypso Coral, which is the ink pad color that you get in the kit. I'll be using my larger ink pad because it's easier. I'll also be substituting my adhesives just because I have them, and because I make alternates, and oftentimes, you know, I'll go through more adhesive than I need. So I'll be using mini dimensionals, regular dimensionals, seal adhesive, nice, easy tape type adhesive to use. I'll be using multi-purpose liquid glue. I think, oh, and there are a couple alternates in here, actually one, I think, where I use some dies, some metal dies that cut paper. Oh, and this one here. Sorry, I pulled these over here and forgot. Glue dots for another adhesive, even though the kit comes with little kind of flat glue dots. And then this is a new embellishment. This embellishment will debut on July 1st. It's called Adhesive Back Blooms, and it comes in fresh freesia, Highland heather, and white, and they're like pretty flowers, right? Oh, and silver foil. I'll be using silver foil. Now you can substitute a lot of this stuff, and tool-wise, these are some basic tools that I always use. I use my Take Your Pick tool, I use the bone folder, I use scissors. The detailed scissors, by the way, is supposed to be debuting on July 1st. We had a lull with our scissors. We had to, you know, break away from the older scissors that we used to have that's similar to this. And then there was a gap. But now a new scissors is coming out similar. It looks almost identical to the ones we used to have before. It's called the detailed scissors. It was supposed to debut on July 1st, but there's a back order situation on it. And so late August is the time that we're expecting it now. If you go to my favorite extras, you can find a link to some other scissors that are similar if you need some scissors. And then I'll also be using the long bladed scissors for this one. And the last tool is a trimmer, okay? Gotta have a trimmer if you're gonna do alternates. So on that note, let's get started. We're gonna start with a card that is pretty easy to make. It's using the large bike that has kind of a look of coming in or biking forward to you, right? So you have this angle here, and it's a large piece. Plus it has this little fun basket on the front. So let's make this card. I'm gonna pull out my kit contents, and we will find those pieces. So we have envelopes in here. We have layers for our cards, the bases for our cards. Here's that bike that I need, so I'm gonna go ahead and punch that out. And these come out of your sheets real easily. Oh, there's a couple more in here. There's two right there, okay. And then we will need, let's see here. Also, we need one of these card bases. We need one of these. And if you have your kit, you can follow along with me. You can like watch the video later if you're not watching it live, put it on fast forward, scoot to where you need to go. And I think that is it for this card. So here's more card layers, and this is a card base. Okay, so I'm gonna set the card bases and envelopes in one pile. I've got all the layers in another pile, and we will begin. I've got a stamp set that I've already pulled out and started using, so I'm not going to grab this one, but for this particular card, we are going to use the cluster of flowers and the Calypso Coral ink that comes in the kit. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we're closer. All right, so here is the finished card. Let's take those pieces. This is the one that we're going to stamp on. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat just to make it easier to see and to make a nice even surface. So the Calypso Coral ink, you're just going to pounce your stamp up and down onto the ink pad. And then you can see how it's positioned in here. It gives you a space where you can stamp so that those colors of the flowers stay in more of the coral color. If you stamp directly onto the green and the coral are going to kind of blend together and give you more of a muted coral. So this is the reasoning for that. And it also helps guide the people who are making the kits, the kit cards, into knowing where to stamp. So kit cards are super easy in that aspect. So we have that piece done. That is going to go onto the top of our basket here. And that's the way the card is suggested to be layered for the regular cards in the kit. So I'm going to take some dimensionals. I'm going to grab some bigger ones. The kit comes with mini dimensionals, but we will cover more surface area if we have the larger ones here. You're just gonna stick those on there. They're like little foam adhesive pads that come up about, gosh, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch. They're not very tall, but they're tall enough to create some shadow. We'll just center that on top of our other foliage on the basket, and that gives it a bit of dimension here. Then we're gonna grab the twine that's in the kit, and we're gonna do 2 feet of that. So I'm gonna grab my grid paper here and measure out 2 feet. 1, 2, so 24 inches, about 24 inches. And snip that. And we're just gonna weave this around and wrap it through around this basket. So you have to go through the hole and through the hole again, okay? And then you just have to kind of work it carefully so you don't catch it on anything like that tire in the front of the bike. And keep on weaving it here. There we go. Okay, so we have a little bit of twine on each end. Let's see here, let's even it out here. So I'm gonna grab the 2 ends, pull them together like that. Check the back. I like the way the back looks. If you don't, you'll wanna adjust that so it looks the way you want it to be. And then we can take and tie our knot. And when you tie your knot on the front, you can come and scoop up the twine that was underneath. So I'm grabbing that other piece of twine down there, and I'm gonna bring that into my knot. And another finger sometimes helps, so if you have trouble holding on to your twine, you can totally ask for help. You can also tie it lower if you think you're gonna get loose on your knot, and then cinch it up to the top of the basket. Check the back again, make sure it looks the way you like, and then you can do your bow after you've tied your knot. With twine, it's easy enough to do a knot first. With regular ribbon, it makes it bulkier to add that extra knot, so you may want to get a little bit better at bow tying before you do a bow with regular ribbon. After you've done this, you can curve it, and you can bring it to wherever it fits, right? So I'm gonna bring it over here a little bit more, and we'll rearrange that again. And now you'll notice, and I think you've already figured this out, that it's wider up here than down here, right? And we want our bow to stay in place. So at this point, you're gonna use those glue dots that come in the kit. And I'll just open this up here. Where did mine go? We're already losing stuff. This is card number 1, you guys. Okay, here's my glue dot sheet. I'm gonna grab the pointy end of the Take Your Pick tool. I'm gonna lift that up. And I'm gonna actually, I think I'm gonna add it to my finger first. If you have moist fingers, do this on your paper or your twine instead. But I'm gonna, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm just gonna lift it, I'm gonna turn it over, and I'm gonna start rolling. I'll show you what I do on the real, like, Stampin' Up glue dots that you can buy in the store. But you just wanna roll this, and you can use the Take Your Pick tool to help you out. But you're gonna roll it, and then you're gonna stick it under. We'll put it on the end of this. You're gonna stick it under your twine knot and push it down, and that'll help hold it in place. If you're gonna use the regular glue dots that come in the online store, you can roll it right on here. You could probably roll it on that too, but it has a backing on it. But I just take and roll it into like a little tube, and then I can pick it up and easily stick it under there, okay? So that is the trick for getting adhesive underneath the knot of your twine. Roll it into a little tube. After that's done, the hard part is over, okay? Now we're gonna take and cut this piece in half. And this allows us to use the back side of our card base for another card, because when you get the cards, you get cards like this, right? They're double side printed, like you print the back and print the front. And this seems like a waste if you just put it on the back of the card. So we're gonna cut this in half right at the score line. That's at 4 1/4 inches, because half of 8 1/2 is 4 1/4. Making that edge flush to the top of your trimmer, and you're gonna use your dark blade, and you're gonna press, and that's gonna cut it in half. Now you have 2 halves that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is the base size of most of our cards that fit into our medium-sized envelopes. We just need one of them, so I'll take one and put it aside over here, I guess. And then we need a piece of envelope. So we're gonna take a green envelope from the kit. And now things are gonna start to get messy in my room because I'm just gonna be pulling from two different directions, two different kits that I've already opened up. All right, so for this, we're gonna cut so that this division here of the colors comes right to that 1-inch line. And you can see as you bring it up to the top that here's another 1-inch mark down here. So you can kind of line it up. And it doesn't have to be exactly 1 inch, but about 1 inch is what I used on my card. Keep this flat edge flush to the top of your trimmer. Use your dark blade and cut, okay? Keep this for something else. I'm sure you can use it for something else. And we're gonna rotate and we're going to cut again. This is just coming off the back side here. We're gonna cut again so that we have 4 1/4 inches in width here, okay? So we want it to be 4 1/4. So we're gonna cut off the two ends. We'll flip it over so we can still use that flat end. 4 1/4 inches. And there is our shape so far. 4 1/4 inches by, and here we're gonna make that 1 1/2. So with the extra inch over here, we need 2 1/2 inches total. And I think that's what I did. Yeah, okay. So this is 1 inch, plus we need another 1 1/2 of the green. So 1 1/2 plus 1 is 2 1/2 inches. There's a natural fold that's already in the envelope piece that we're cutting. Okay, here's that fold. So I think we're ready to assemble. This is the easiest of the cards. Now you have this dark line here. You can have that on the inside or the outside, whatever floats your boat. I chose to put it on the inside of the card because I don't want to see it from the outside. So I'm going to I'm going to put these two together right here. I'm going to push that and flip it over nice and flat. Open this up, and this is where I'm going to add the adhesive. You can use glue, the multi-purpose liquid glue. You can use seal, whatever works for you. Just a nice flat adhesive, making sure it's flush to the edge, and press it down. Turn it over, and now we have our opening for our card, and we're gonna connect the bike to that. So for that, we need a little sticky note. So I'm just gonna grab any little sticky note I have here, and I'm gonna lay that down so that the top edge of the stickiness is right up to where this part opens, just like that. I'm gonna put my bike on top here so that it is meeting up with the bike in the lower corner. And we're gonna press that sticky note against the back side of this piece. This gives us an indication where we can put adhesive, okay? So you could put seal adhesive here or glue if you wanna do it flat, or we can bring in those dimensionals again, and we can put a couple right up to the edge, like so. And then we can put a couple on the outside. And we'll grab our smaller ones because we have the handle up here too, as you can see. Let me put it against something dark. We have our handle here too. So let's go ahead and put a dimensional on the end of the handle. And then imagining this sticky note going up a little further, we can put it about there. We'll take the backings off, and this is where you just need to be careful because you don't want to stick it down too early. Getting my little garbage pile going here. There. And backings. How many of you have gotten this kit? Okay, if you got the kit, shout it out in the comments. If you've already made the kit cards as instructed, let us know. Or if you did alternates, let us know. So got the kit as is, got the kit, alternates, don't have the kit, want the kit. Tell us what your status is. Now we're gonna keep this flat, and we're gonna lay this down in the corner here. Okay, so we're connecting the corner first. Then we're looking at this bottom straight edge here and this straight edge here, and we're making sure that those line up with the card layers underneath. Connect it all down. That bow's a little twisted. And then we're gonna lift it up, pull off this Post-it note, this sticky note, and we have our finished card. we're gonna add just a couple embellishments. I forgot about that. Hang on. Couple embellishments. Those are with the fun little holographic-y silver. They have kind of a holographic sheen to them. They're like the silver foil. And we're just gonna put a few butterflies on to glitz it up a bit because we like glitz. Glitz and glamour. 1, 2, 3. Oops. That one I want to angle more. And this one's angled too much. Okay, now the card is done. There's our finished Bikes and Blooms card number 1. Super simple, but just another way of using this element in a different way to make it more of a fun fold card. Where you want to write on this is underneath the basket. Okay, so when you're going to send this card to somebody, make sure that you put your wording right underneath the basket, okay? If you need to, you could do like a light pencil line, but you can also just kind of imagine, stay away from, you know, the lower inch, the right inch, and then the 2 sides a little bit, right? And that will put you in this place, all right? I love it, you're answering. Still waiting for your package. And you know what, Marie? That is normal. I just got mine seriously a couple days ago. We can never control the delivery system once it's out of the Stampin' Up warehouse. So try to be patient with it. Give it some time. If you don't get it, I would say by the what's today? The 24th. I would say the 25th or 26th. You could call Stampin' Up or your demonstrator if you're not a demonstrator and find out where it is if you can't track it yourself. Okay, we have that card done. Let's move on to the next one, which is also a simple card. For this one, let's pull in those kit supplies again, and we're gonna grab from that one of the coral card bases. We're gonna grab some of these elements. We need, actually I need an envelope too. Which envelope am I using on this one? Oh, it's the same envelope. Let's grab that envelope that we just tossed over to the side. There it is. We want this one. We're going to use the remaining parts of this one. We also want to have, let's see here, on this one, I think we're avoiding those sheets for now. We need one of the pots with the Lost Lagoon colored leaves on it. We need one of these banners. Got yours yesterday? Okay, so they're just starting to arrive for a few of us on the late side, right? So maybe give it a couple more days. Maybe call the 20s, towards the end of the week. Does that sound good? So today is Wednesday, wait till Friday. But don't wait till Saturday because they're closed on Saturday. And then from this sheet, we're gonna grab this piece. We're gonna grab all 4 of them. We'll just put them over there. We're gonna grab all 4 of them. Okay, for this card, we're gonna add an extra score line. And we're adding that extra score line 1.5 inches, I believe. We're using 1.5 inches on both these cards. Yes, 1.5 inches in from either side, parallel to the short side, parallel to the score line. So parallel to the short side, we're going in 1.5 inches. Again, either side works, okay? So you can do either side because it'll give you the same results since this is in the middle. We already have a score line through the middle. So we have a score line here and here. We're gonna fold this one in that direction and fold this one the opposite way that you would think to fold it. So the color is now on the inside of our card, and we have kind of a version of a Z fold card that's a little bit different. We just put the Z fold in a different area than smack dab in the middle so that we can see a little bit of this white, okay? And we have less showing here. We're also gonna create a little less showing of that coral by doing a tear along this edge, about 1/4 inch in. That will allow you to expose the white core, give it kind of a rough look here, which is kind of fun. Texture is always fun. And now we have that look. And you can't really see the white when it blends in, except it doesn't lie completely flat. So there is a shadow created naturally by the card when you have it in this position. Let's take and crease that a little bit more because it's a fun fold. Let's crease in both directions just to break the fibers a bit. So I like to fold, then fold back, then fold again. You can see how much flatter it's sitting now than before. So you can see how much this is moved out like that. Let's fold it in this direction and then move it in this direction. We're breaking the fibers and it's a lot more pliable. It sits a lot easier. Okay. Next, we're gonna take and cut the envelope into some pieces here. These pieces are going to be the same size, so we can just keep our envelope layered together. We're going to do 2.5 by, I'm measuring outside of the camera here so you can't see, 2.5 by 5.25, okay? You're hoping yours is in your mailbox, Mary? Yes, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? So 2.5, this is the opening side, this is the closed side. 2.5 from the open side is where we're going to cut. 2.5 inches. And now we have an even smaller little pouch. That would be great to put like a little gift card in or something, wouldn't it? You could put it in a horizontal card with a gift card pouch. I know, we're already creating again. Okay, and then these pieces need to be cut down. So we're gonna cut off each end to make it 5.25. Right now, it measures almost 5.75. So if we cut off 1/4 from each side, we will have 2 size pieces that are perfectly what we wanted. And that little extra fringe that came out of there, that is from the interior of the envelope that connects. Oh, that one didn't have the extra fringe. I don't know why. Anyways, there's extra layers when you connect your envelope, right? Here we have 2 pieces. We're gonna move our trimmer. Let's go ahead and adhere these to the inside of our card. This one, here's my seal. This one will go on the right side because it has a small little panel that's outlined in there. It's a faint outline, and it kind of shows where you would write something. So we're gonna add that, 1/8 of an inch from the top and bottom, and 1/8 of an inch from the center score, like that. You like the kit? I do too. You know, at first I was like, oh, this is gonna challenge me because there's such big, huge bikes in it, but I did triple the kit. We're not doing that today, but I tripled the kit. So I'll be showing that to you soon. And we're gonna put this one on the opposite side. So it is possible, because Rachel really likes doing that lately. I didn't always used to do that, by the way. It's something that's become more of a new thing that I've liked to do with the kit. Okay, do you see how this 2.5 inches fits perfectly in that space? That's the measurement I used to create the 2 pieces so that when I closed it, it would cover up both the panels. The panels are now inside. That's where you would write on the inside of your card. And these areas here are where we could decorate. You can definitely decorate here too because it's gonna be seen from the card when it's closed. So for these, we're gonna start with this little tab. We're gonna make it a tab. It's a little rectangle and we're gonna create it into a tab. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive on the end. We're gonna stick it under here about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom edge of the card. So it becomes a tab. See that? Next, we're going to add our little white banner here, and that's gonna come across this way. And I think I have it, I'm just gonna peek on the back side. I have it slightly above my rectangle here, but I have it so that it's not going quite all the way to the edge because I wanted to cover up that tear. So we're gonna flip it over. And again, you could use that Post-it note trick if you needed to kind of indicate how far you can put your adhesive in. But we're just gonna put it right down like that. So it's about 1 inch from the bottom and still horizontal. So we have kind of a little deck here to put some things onto. We have one more piece of the deck, and that one's gonna go on with dimensionals. We have our base, we're gonna put our dimensionals on. We're gonna keep our dimensionals towards the bottom. So using those smaller dimensionals that come in the kit, or if you ran out of them, you could take and cut regular size dimensionals in half. You missed the sale. I'm sorry. Yes, I think you didn't you tell me that you were gonna miss it? Car issues, yes. Yes, I think you told me that, Vay. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I have dimensionals across the bottom. Either edge could be the bottom because they're the same on the other side, right? We're gonna add this across here so that it is, and I'm gonna look on here. Yeah, it's fairly centered between the 2 ends of the other shelf sections. Okay, so here's a shelf section, here's a shelf. Now it's centered between that, all right? And then we're gonna add, and I'm checking here. Oh, you know what? I didn't put that up on dimensionals on the other card. It's okay. We're gonna make it work because we only have dimensionals on the bottom portion, and we can add dimensionals on the next layer as long as it's not overlapping. I mean, you can overlap, but it's just gonna make the envelope thicker. We don't want to overlap. We're going to take this piece and we're going to put it on here as if it's on top of a shelf. And dimensionals will go on the back side of it to help push this down, but it will pop up this whole entire layer. So this will be lifted, this will be lifted, but they won't be overlapping, which helps on postage because your card isn't super thick. But do you see this little space in here again? Let's grab another stamp. Let's grab the other flower, and I have them all mounted on my blocks already, pushed in the corner here. Here's our other set of flowers that looks like that. Let's open up our ink pad. Or you could cut a square the same size as the basket and add it inside. Yes, you could. On the other card, Marcia, absolutely. Yep. Okay, we're gonna ink that up and we're gonna stamp that down. That definitely would guide you to where you should write on the inside of your card. When I created these, Marcia, I was creating from one set of supplies again because I love doing that. So technically these 4 cards today, if you did them 3 different times, you could get 4 cards times 3, you get 12 cards instead of 9. But this is not my multiplying the kit selection of cards. This is just, I wanted to make fun folds with all the different pieces. So here we have stamped flowers again in those lightened areas so that the coral really comes through. We're gonna flip this over and put dimensionals just along the back side that's going to connect with this panel. So again, if you wanted to use that Post-it note trick and cover up sections that you don't want to put dimensionals on, you can do that. Or because this is such a small piece, you might be able to just kind of visually figure it out. So we're going to flip that over. Oh, one more thing is we want to fit this pot here too. So it's going to be over just slightly. There's where it's going to go. Let's flip it over, keeping my fingers kind of covering up the area I don't want to have dimensionals in. And we will put them there. I'm going to move these up a little higher. Actually, you know what? On these bottom ones, I lied. Keep that one there. But on these, I'm going to connect directly to the top of this shelf so that it's not overlapping the dimensionals underneath. So we have our dimensionals right in the place that we need them to be. We have one at the back on the top. Perfect, this is what we needed to do. So ignore the first directions I gave you on that. Okay, and then we'll take and place that at the same time, kind of like laying this with it just so we can see. It's not gonna go all the way behind. It's only kind of peeking in a bit there. And that's gonna go here. And then we're gonna take this piece and we're going to put a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue at the bottom. This is where the glue comes in, and I like to transfer it to my precision tip bottle. I hold my bottles upside down in these great holders from the Country Hive. They are having a sale right now, 15% off through the 26th, because they are celebrating small business time during Amazon Prime sale time. So let's take a peek at this one more time. We want to get a little bit behind these 2 sections here. And this glue is so strong, it's going to be enough. And then we need just a little bit at the bottom. So you barely need anything. Lift this up so you can tuck it and tip it and stick it down. All right, so it's just connecting to the little edge there and the little ledge there. And you can see there's no glue behind it. Okay, there's that. Next, let's add, we have one more little pot here from this sheet. We're going to grab that. By the way, if you don't have a whole craft room behind you like I do, this is a great thick strip of white that you could use for a sentiment somewhere, an edging somewhere. So you can save your scraps and use them for your alternates as well. I'm going to set that there for now. Okay, so this pot can now be stuck over here, but it's going to be placed behind on this layer here. So we're going to put a little adhesive there. Glue, tape, whatever works. We're going to stick it down here and we're going to make it look as if it's also sitting on the shelf. So you can see how I'm tucking it right there and I'm holding it with my fingers. Then I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to peek here. Yeah, I had it overlapping just a little bit, but that's okay. So we're going to tuck it, make it look like it's on the shelf. And I'm going to connect it a little bit to the white. Can I do that? Nah, I want it over more. I'm going to have it right there because it looks good when the card is shut. So there's a floating little shelf of plants and books. And now we add the embellishments. And for these embellishments, I'm bringing in those beautiful, those beautiful sparkly gems. It got stuck to the plastic on the inside. Called Pearlized Faceted Circles. We'll grab the Take Your Pick tool. You can lift these up with your fingertips, just like I did with the butterflies, but the Take Your Pick tool is amazing for grabbing embellishments off your sheets. We're gonna grab a large coral, deep coral color, and that one's gonna go, where did I put that one? I put that one kind of like right here. And then, oh, that's why I moved this in further, because I wanted the gem to be further in. We're shifting. We're shifting, you guys. Scoop and reposition. There. Okay, there's one gem. The next one is going to be light. Let's see, these are big, these are medium, this is small. It's a light, small one right here. And then we have a darker, small one right here. So pretty, right? And then we have a couple more. We have a light, large. Oh, these are the light ones here, and these are the small ones. Sorry, this is the lightest. And the lightest is gonna go up here with another really, really light one right next to it. But they look kind of pinkish, don't they? And that is that finished card. You can stamp on the inside, have a lovely day, whatever you want to, but that is your next finished card. Okay, the next one. Does anyone have a favorite kit that they wish that Stampin' Up! Would release another time? List that now. I would love to see if you have a favorite Paper Pumpkin past kit that you wish would come back. Okay, the next card that we're gonna make is an easel card. This is the first one I designed when I got my kit a couple days ago, because I saw this bike piece and I thought to myself, this is kind of fun, but it looks like part of the bike's missing, and I really, and obviously it is, and I really don't want it to just be like have space over here. I wanted the space to be gone. So for this card, I kept it vertical just like they did in the kit card directions. You can see here's that card right here. Okay, they kept it as if it was just disappeared off the edge. And for this, we'll need to have one of our bike pieces like this. We'll need a couple of these. Obviously, they are becoming clouds for our card. We need we need one of these, and we need this piece, and that is it as far as the extra sections go. Let's take and grab our card layers. We're going to grab that green that we had just used on the other card, and we'll bring that one in, and then we're going to use a portion of the yellow. We don't use the envelopes on this one. Let's grab our trimmer. How are we doing on time? I think my clock stopped. It did. My clock on my wall has stopped at 11:15, and I almost shouted like joyous shouts, thinking, oh my gosh, I have 45 minutes left, but I don't. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Daisy Dream. It was a Halloween. You don't remember the name. Do you remember what was in it? I liked the one with the little mini skeletons. I did so many things with that. I loved that kit. Okay, we're gonna cut this one in half. Actually, we're gonna cut it down to 4 1/8 of an inch. Okay, we're not gonna cut it at 4 1/4. We're gonna do 4 1/8. Use that for another card. We're going to take this one and we're gonna cut it at, and I'm just gonna measure to make sure. First, we're gonna cut 1.5 inches from the bottom. Oh, we're doing this 4 1/8 also. Cut 4 1/8. Where'd that score line go? Oh, we don't have one on this one. Okay, so 4 1/8. All right, and now we're gonna cut 1.5 inches. And we're gonna cut, this piece was, 2, and I think it was 2 3/4. And then I also had another piece that was 1 1/4 inches. Let's do this, 2 3/4. Yep, that worked out. Okay, so 2 3/4 inches. And then this last one is 1 1/4. So we did use the whole thing on here. But what I did with this piece is I took and kind of cut an angle at the top and then tucked this behind it to make it look like, and I don't know if you can see that in here, but it looks like layers of prairie or grass. You could also take your scissors and you could come in and you could just freehand some little hills, right? So you could do that and then add that behind. You could even put hills on that back layer if you want to, instead of having a straight flat horizon, okay? So those are our pieces for our green. For our yellow, I did use a full piece that I cut an eighth of an inch off of, and everything was layered onto that piece. Everything, okay? You can see my yellow is back there. But for this card, I am only going to have a portion of the yellow, and because this is 2 3/8 inches, we're gonna go just shy of that. 2 3/8, I'm sorry, 2 3/4. Did I say 2 3/8? I did. 2 3/4. So we're gonna start at 2 3/4, and we're gonna move down 1/8 of an inch and cut. Save this for another card that way. This piece is now a lot shorter, but you'll see how it's gonna work differently on this card. And we might only get through this card and not the fourth one. The fourth one I think I might have to do for my members only video on Friday, okay? If you're a member of my channel that's a supporting member that pays $5.99 a month, you'll get the full directions on that night. I thought I was gonna fit them all in, but we are gonna do that. Does that sound good, you guys? Okay, so I have all of these, but I need my base white cardstock. So now we're gonna bring in, and that's a piece that's not cut properly here. Here's our white. So the silver foil that I mentioned earlier is for the fourth card. That we'll be using on Friday, okay? And I'll post photos and measurements. Does that work? But the directions, and some of the, like, this is similar to a card I used to do, or I did a while ago. I'm not gonna apologize about it. We're just gonna keep going. 4 1/4 inches right here. Cut it in half, so it's 4 1/4 by 11. We're gonna score it in 2 places. First, we'll score it in half at 5 1/2 inches. So if you fold this, it's a perfect card base. And then you're gonna score from either end at 2 3/4 inches. So 5 1/2 and 2 3/4 gives us that kind of a look, which is going to prop up to be an easel card. Okay, kits, they come straight to your mailbox, you guys. It's an awesome deal. Pay as you go is a great way to do it. If you aren't sure, you can just start a subscription with the pay as you go and then cancel at any time. You can also get a prepaid. With either one of those, you can skip. So if you do a 3-month prepaid, let's say, because you want to earn loyalty points and the monthly all-star video from ordering through me that way. But if you do a prepaid, you can, get that first kit coming to you. And then if you're going to go on vacation, that, the next kit, you could skip it. You could start your subscription again whenever it's ready to, you're ready to get them again. Actually, I think you have to skip every month until because I think it starts up again the next month. Anyways, you'll just want to monitor your subscription if you're going to do any skipping. Okay, so in the US, $29, that includes the $7 shipping, and then you just do $29 plus tax, okay? I don't know what it is in other markets, but it's a great deal for all the product that you get, and it's all in one little cute box. You don't have to have like tons of storage in your craft room. You don't have to even have a craft room. You can put these on a shelf or under the bed. Spooky Treats, $22, and the sunflower one. I think someone else mentioned the sunflower one too. You love easel cards? I do too, Donna. Okay, so we have our base, and I've scored it and folded it a lot to give it lots of pliability. We're ready. Let's start with this piece here. We're gonna grab our circle, which is becoming our sun. We're gonna lay that upside down here. Now, if on a future card you want this piece to be white, you could do your piece this way on this card. In fact, I think I'm gonna do that for this. We're just gonna have it positioned this way so that the card I do on Friday is different, okay? So I'm gonna lay it on here with the vanilla or creamier side up because I want to use my white side later. Grab my Daffodil Delight ink pad, grab my blending brush. If you want to, you could put some temporary adhesive under there, or you can just take and hold it still, hold it steady. Grab your ink, get it going, and start blending some ink coming out from the edge of this circle. And what it's going to do is it's just going to emphasize your circular area and make it appear like you have a sun. Okay? It's not whitening the inside, it's not brightening the inside, it's just making an edge in a circular pattern to make it look like you have a sunshine. And you see how that color is blending into the yellow that's already on the paper? When we lift this up and away, we now have what looks like a sun with a little bit of a cloud going across it. So hey, let's add some more clouds. So for that, you can use these pieces, which is what I did on my original card. Here's my original again. Let's bring that in. So I had one here and I had one here, but you can also bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and some bonus dies. So we're gonna take and do some die cutting super quick here because I wanna save my kit pieces for something else. I'm gonna grab a scrap of cardstock, white cardstock. I'm gonna fold it in half. I could use a smaller piece if I really need to, but I'm taking this die, and this die comes from a set of dies that's on the last chance list. Fruit, you guys, everybody needs fruit dies. Made with sweetness dies. They are so cute. Check them out. But there's this one that's a cluster of like bubbly looks. It's for like a blackberry or whatever, right? Or a raspberry maybe. I don't know. Probably a blackberry. But now you have clouds. So fun. I love thinking outside the box. If you're not into dies, then you're missing out on the dies that coordinate with the Stampin' Up! Kits. These are the last several releases, and each set of dies coordinates with 3 months worth of kits. Wonderful Scenes is already sold out, so it's only while supplies last. But you can see there's butterflies and there's these flowers. You can even use Wonderful, the sign, and the fireworks or whatever for this kit. But the butterflies and flowers are meant to coordinate with this month's kit. Sorry it's sold out. I won't be using it in my alternates, but just know that it was available. And for people who are starting subscriptions, make sure that you're paying attention to the dies that coordinate with the kits if you have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, see if I flip this over, I have a white side to use on my other card that I will make on Friday. Okay, so we're gonna move these out of the way. We're gonna grab these clouds and add them, and I'm gonna put them on with dimensionals. So we will take the dimensional pieces. My clock is so off, you guys. I have to look at my iPad in front of me. Putting on a couple dimensionals because there's a bigger cloud here. We're gonna stick one here, and it can come off the edge. This is when you're gonna add them, is right now. And this one, let's see here. I think, yeah, it's got a texture on this side because my cutting mat is really worn out, so we're gonna just use it this way. And we'll put one here and here. If I had a smoother cutting pad, this would not have happened. I could have flipped this guy over. All right, so we have our two clouds on there. We're gonna take a long bladed scissors and just cut nice and straight like that. So that's why you wanna do that step now, sooner than later. This is the basket that went with this one. It was supposed to layer on top, but my thinking for making more of your kit is, why do you need to do that? That can just be a basket of green plants. It doesn't have to have anything in it, right? So I left it blank on this. Then, let's see here. Well, not on the finished card, but I left it blank for the time being. This piece is going to connect with the top of our card. So I'm gonna flip it over. It's already cut down a 16th, a 16th, or 16th and 8th, and a 16th here, so that when we put this in here, we can center it in this zone. You see that? So there's a little bit of edging here. Oopsie, let's lift that up. Do it again, Rachel. Do it again. 1150 Did I say something else? I meant to say 11:49 at the time, but yeah, now it's 11:50. It's crazy. Okay, so there we have the edging on our card. It's maybe still a little lower than I want it, but it'll work. And we can still bend this up and down, and it doesn't affect our yellow layer. Our green layers are next. So we're gonna put this green layer down here, and it's gonna be on dimensionals, which means this one has to be flat. This one's gonna be flat. So we have to add that one next, and we just have to have it added so that it's up above the yellow a little bit. So I'm gonna add adhesive right here. In fact, if you need to, you can take and fold your card in this direction just to kind of expose that edge. Don't go right to the sides. You want to leave some room here and here. But now I have my adhesive right to the edge. I can add this so that it's half on the yellow, half on the white, and nice and straight. Actually, I'm going to go down a little. Nice and straight. So I noticed on this one I have a lot more. Okay, so it's nice and straight. I've got the same amount of white edging here. This piece with the curved top is going to go underneath, and we will add that with a dimensional in each corner. And I want to keep the dimensionals just in the corners because of what we're going to add next. So I think that's going to work. Yes, it is. We'll lift these off. I have this thing where I don't like to layer my dimensionals, you guys. I don't want my cards to be too thick when I mail them. Okay, do you see that? So far we have Little Hill, our horizon in the background. Next is our bike. And when our bike gets added, I want this edge to not have a white on it. I want it to be as if it's cut right there. So I'm just gonna trim that real quick so that all that white edging is off of there. You can do that with the scissors like I'm doing now, not very easily, but you can do it with the scissors or your trimmer or whatever. But I'm just getting that out of there so it looks like it's continuing on through onto another card. And this I'm gonna make sure it's right up against this edge. This I don't need to have up against that edge because it's, you know, the end of the bike. You're gonna lay this here where you think it'll work well, and I need it down a little bit, but not all the way down, because it's going to also tuck. And when you tuck it behind something on an easel card, sometimes it gets tucked in there and then things disappear. So don't make it go down too far. So there's that. And then we can check to see, grab that Post-it note trick again. We're just gonna take and put our sticky note here. This is where we can add dimensionals. Flip it over. Dimensional, here and here. Right in through here I can do some. So let's cut some in half, or we could use the small ones. But I want, let's see, we're gonna put one on the bottom here to give it some support. And the side. Here's another half that we can stick kind of here. And then let's put one over here, but we have to go low enough because remember our Post-it note, if it was going straight across, would actually go right through here. So we have to have this low enough where it's going to connect where it needs to. Flip it over if you have, nope, that looks like it will work. Okay, peel off the backings. And we'll add that next. And I think stamping is the next step. We're gonna do some stamping with a color that I haven't brought in yet. Okay, so this is just gonna go right like that. This right edge here is what's guiding you. And stick it down, peel that off. Let's do some stamping next. We're gonna stamp onto this piece, which looks like it has two little nails. I love the toppers of the nails. Thank you, Rose. So, you know, those are gonna be up top. Open up our basic gray. Basic gray is an amazing soft black color. I love it, love it, love it. It's becoming a favorite lately. We're gonna stamp Best Wishes onto our sentiment strip here with our basic gray. In fact, it does say that black is the color in the kit, but if you look closely, those lines look more gray than anything. They just look very light and faint. So a soft black. I think it's butterflies, flowers, and the inside that's left. So let's open this up and let's put these two pieces in here next. This is going to go on with dimensionals, but not all the way. We're only going to put dimensionals across the top here to help lift that up to keep it as a stopper on the card. And then on the bottom part, we're going to add seal adhesive. So it'll be like an angled piece on the inside. You won't notice it. Your recipient won't notice it too much, but it's going to help to hold your easel up in place. So this is tilted up. This is down, nice and smooth here. This gives it a ledge. We'll add this piece. You don't want to put too many dimensionals on the inside of a card. So this we're going to add flat. We're not going to put that up on dimensionals. Just add that centered. When you prop this up, watch what happens, you guys. Now we have the bike kind of all on its own, and those flowers that we're going to put in the basket are going to just really pop and show. When the card is flat, we see the sky. When the card is open, you see the bike. Okay? You could do it either way. You could make this all one piece to keep it all like that, or you can make it separate. Let's embellish it with a few of these flowers. Let's add some purple flowers. I added the white flowers before, but why not purple? That might look kind of pretty here. Oh gosh, yes. So we'll add 1, 2, and 3. And now we have a basket full of beautiful purple flowers. We're going to add a butterfly in there, if I can find them. They flew away. They're gone. Okay, well, there's a butterfly on this one too, as you can see right there. And now we have just a little hint of clouds, more clouds. So fun, you guys. Those are the only cards that we're going to get done today. It's already 11:59. I'm going to bring the cards back in that we made here and let my video end here soon, okay? Is that all right with you guys? We're going to have to end it. I do have cards where I tripled the kit, so I have those all done and ready to share. I have this card ready to share on Friday night. Join us if you'd like to. It's Friday night, and I shifted it to 8:00 p.m. Central Time. I found that 7 just was really tight for me, and working with my husband getting home from work and dinner and plus things like that. So what do I want to tell you? I talked to you about the the Country Hives storage sale. They have 15% off everything from now through the 26th. So you'll want to check them out. They're the ones that have the magnetic hex trays for holding dies and stuff. They're the ones where, you know, you have like your little adhesive holders, and they have stamp pad holders. They have all kinds of cute stuff. So check that out. We also have a new kit that will be a new kit offer, I should say, that will be coming. So let me bring it to my computer really quick. Shop small on Prime Day, save 15% on Country Hive. Yay! And then this here, this image is to show you that we have a new kit offering coming. It's supposed to be July 1st, but because all markets are going live at the same time, North America is releasing a little bit early. So 4:00 p.m. Mountain Time on June 30th is when this new kit offering is going to be coming. It's a little different than starter kit offers in the past. Just a little brief note, and I do have more information in my blog post that will be connected to this and live soon, so you can read all those details. But so if you're familiar with it, usually it's $125 or $100 or $99 for $125 worth of product, but you can't go over, right? They're now going to have a $100 starter kit. You get the welcome kit with it when it's your first time getting this kit. You get the welcome kit, and then you get a credit to purchase $125 worth of product for free. So you can go beyond the $125. Once you're a demonstrator, you've purchased your $100 kit. So it's the same that you've done before, right? $99, $100, so the dollar difference, but then you get this kit. But you get in there, you place your order, whatever amount you want, $125 or more now, right? And you can add things to your heart's content, and then you just place that coupon on there and you're good to go. Plus you get this really cute welcome kit. That's why I'm showing you the picture, because it's adorable. There's like a card kit in there to make 8 cards. There's a little pencil pouch, a pen, a mini pop-up garbage can, a D-size block, and the cute box. So that's coming. Just wanted to give you the heads up on that. That's June 30th is when that new kit offer will begin. They're just changing it up to make it easier for all of us. What else do I want to tell you about? The product of the month sold out. The dies for Paper Pumpkin sold out. So stay tuned for what's coming July 1st. We're going to have a new product of the month. We're going to have two new kits in the kids collection, maybe 3. I don't know. Sometimes there are at least 3. There is a new set of dies for the coming kits, July, August, and September. So you can go to the subscription section of the online store if you're a subscriber and check out the new set of dies and the new kits that are coming up. So fun. Make sure you're subscribed. You can click on the link below in the description of my video to get subscribed through me so that you can get exclusive videos from our Paper Pumpkin Creatives team. There's lots of goodies that come when you're a subscriber. If you are a team member, you get those goodies too, right? Woohoo! Thanks, you guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I have to make sure I share before we end this live. The next live for everybody will be next, is it 4th of July weekend next weekend? It's going to be next Tuesday. Surprise, surprise, Trisha. I don't know if I told you that, but we're going out of town. So let me just check here and make sure. Yeah, I have it scheduled for next Tuesday. So on my big, gigantic calendar, that is here. And if you click on the link in the description of the video, it'll take you to my calendar. I've shifted next week's live to 11 a.m. on the 30th of June instead of the 1st of July because we're doing my son's coming into town. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So yeah, what else do I need to tell you? I think that's it. I'm looking at my notes here. If I missed something, I missed something. And maybe people are shouting it out in the lives, but in the live comments, but I think we're good. I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. If you want to become a member, click on the membership tab and join us. It's the $5.99 level that gets the exclusive video per month. Oh, we have a craft along coming up. Eek! I'm so excited. So stay tuned for that information too. There's another craft along coming up. We're in the midst of finishing our designs and getting our stuff together. That will be advertised soon so that you can sign up for that. I'm going to let you go. Thank you, Trisha. Love you so much. Take care, everybody. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.